The National Broadcasting Company takes pleasure in presenting a special program. Welcome to the studios of WNBT in Radio City. Tonight we're celebrating a very special occasion, our 10th anniversary of public service. Yes, 10 years ago today, we sent you our first television program on regularly scheduled program series. And it all began here, friends. This is Ben Grauer welcoming you to the doors of Studio 3H in Radio City. And tonight behind these studio doors are some of the bright stars of television who are ready to greet you. But I'd like to, before we go through these doors, take you back a few years, exactly 10 years, and try to explain what we're commemorating. Just 10 years ago today, television friends, the first regularly scheduled programs of NBC television were presented to television viewers. I almost said radio listeners, but this was the new art of television debuting 10 years ago today. That's going to be an important date in your children's history books, because then our television cameras were opened at the World's Fair in Flushing Meadows. Right now you're seeing pictures of that scene as it was seen 10 years ago, the Trylon and the Perisphere, familiar to every visitor to New York in those pre-war days. There's a portion of the Railroads on Parade exhibit, and then we go to the Trylon and Perisphere again, which dominated the World Fair grounds of those days, and the broad view of the Avenue of the Nations. Some of the hundreds of people who streamed in those opening days, and those lucky few who sat by their television viewers to see this first dawning of NBC television and the new art of home entertainment and information. We didn't realize then, perhaps, what an important part of the entertainment and information scheme would be television. There goes one of those little go-buggies familiar at the television scene to those people at the World's Fair who couldn't get one, had to walk and have World's Fair feet, as this poor lad seemed to have. Another one of the exhibits at the World's Fair, radio equipment installed in a seagoing yacht. This was a very important occasion when RCA NBC television presented its first regularly scheduled program. It wasn't seen by a vast number of people, in fact a very, very small number. Our station's call letters were W2XBS, X for experimental, and the signals emanated from that tower of the Empire State Building, which you see being dedicated in these films, NBC's first television transmitter, way up above the 102nd floor level of the Empire State Building, the highest point then and now in the New York City landscape. Over there were where the studios were situated in Radio City, the broad flank of the RCA Building, with the camera's eye moving down to the 49th Street entrance where the stars entered to the television studios. Also those few people who saw those first programs. There weren't many of them. They just sat in a little invitation room where they were invited to view the first attempts of NBC television, and here is the first program. Plenty of nostalgia attached to that. W2XBS master program, just about 1 or 2 pages thick. Just take a look at it. Opening of New York World's Fair, court of peace, camera on stand 60 feet from Speaker's rostrum. Speeches by Grover Whalen and President Roosevelt. Well, those were very exciting and thrilling days for us, and you must forgive us if we are a little sentimental. Incidentally, those pictures that you saw there from the World's Fair were brought to televiewers by a mobile unit. And now we have many of those, and we use that technique constantly. But for the rest of the day's programs then and now, by that I mean programs that come from the studios, we go again to this, which is now one of the several NBC television stations in Radio City, studios I should say, Studio 3A. You know, you might say through these portals past the finest television
May I help you, Mr. Grauer? You
Oh, sure. Just a moment. Are you Page Boy and Judy here?
Oh, yes.
I think I detect behind that Page Boy's regalia a very familiar face. Aren't you, Earl Wrightson?
Well, as a matter of fact, I am, Ben. And
what's the idea of the...
well, I'm going back 10 years, too. You know, I was a page boy here back in 1939. That's 10 years ago, isn't it?
That's right.
Matter of fact, I did some shows right from this very studio. And, incidentally, you were showing some World's Fair things, you know. I was out there doing about 10 shows a day for television with Bert Tillstrom, you know, the Ku Klux Ran and Ollie and everything.
I was working on a little thing called radio then.
Yeah,
But I had a little start in television because about 2 weeks after that, we went out there for the visit of the King and Queen of England on television. And you did some singing as a page boy.
Yes, we did some, well, page and guide shows we did on television here. They were some of the first shows we did, Ben.
Well, Mr. W., things have been going all right in the vocal scene for you,
I must say the past 10 years have been very good to me. I'll tell you that one of the really the nicest things that have happened to me in the past 10 years. So just last October, I was signed to co-star with this.
Why? Kyle McDonald.
You bet.
Hello, Ben.
Hello.
Earl, I'm surprised you ever got out of uniform.
Now in this take-for-granted world, love was so commonplace. But now I see an enchanted world in your face, in your embrace. For heaven's sake, let's fall in love. It's no mistake to call it love. An angel's holding hands with me. How heavenly heaven can be. Here is romance for us to try. Here is a chance we can't deny. Since heaven's what we're dreaming of, for heaven's sake, let's fall in love. Don't say a word, my darling. Don't break a spell like this. Just hold me tight. We're alone in the night, and heaven is here in a kiss. This pair of eyes can see a star. So paradise can't be so far. Since heaven's what we're dreaming of, for heaven's sake, let's fall in love.
What do you mean you're surprised I never got out of uniform?
Well, knowing...
Just for that, I came in on your bad side.
Oh, dear, yes. Well, let's not ad-lib tonight. Earl, do you have a song?
I did come prepared,
You're
yes.
prepared?
I came with the little thing that Noah and Paris and I dreamed up. Would you
All
like
right.
to hear it?
I don't
Please
think I'll
say
leave.
yes.
Yes, I will.
Please say you have to leave it. I need room for this sort of song. There's a great day coming mañana with a wonderful, wonderful dream. On that great come and get it day, won't it be fun when worry is done and money is hay? That's the time things will come your way. On that great, great come and get it day, I'll get my gal a calico gown, I'll get my mule an acre of ground, 'cause word has come from Gabriel's horn, the earth beneath your plow is a button and now it's yours. Glory time's coming for to stay, on that great, great come and get it day. Glory time's coming for to stay, on that great, great come and get it and keep it and share it. Come and get it day. Loud too, huh?
Yes, very
I'm
loud.
going to move into this picture, too, if I may, Kyle.
Oh, wonderful, Ben.
I mean, you and Earl are together,
Yes.
as you were on my Americana program about 2 weeks
How
ago.
about
wasn't
that?
Yes,
we're
we
pretty
were-
smart.
Americana?
Big brains.
Sure.
Answered a lot of
Americana,
questions.
Sponsored by Firestone
Sure.
on Monday nights, and we celebrated our anniversary.
Yes.
We had our young high school and college students with some little, slightly grown-ups like yourself.
You know, there have been a lot of anniversaries lately, haven't there?
Yeah, sure. 10th and so on. And I'd like to ask you a question, since I was in that question-asking mood.
Oh,
or
really?
role.
Good. Another question?
I'd
first?
like
Fine.
you to sing a song about, now it's tough,
tough.
Very. It's like a question like, what color was Napoleon's white horse?
Yes.
Or when was the War of 1812?
Okay.
Tough.